Access Stories, presented by the Access VSA International Network, a program of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts Office of Access and VSA, a Gene Kennedy Smith Arts and Disability program. Access Stories is a series of personal stories from Access VSA International Network members. These stories were filmed at the 2024 Leadership Exchange in Arts and Disability LEAD Conference in Seattle, Washington.
I'm LaMondré Pough. I'm a speaker and a trainer, and I'm also the chairman of Arts Access South Carolina, where our executive director is Julia Brown. When I was about 13, I was mainstreamed, and I went from where I was one of all students with disabilities to where I was the only student with a very apparent disability. There were other students with disabilities there, but they were not apparent. I literally went to a school where I was the only child using any kind of assistive technology, my wheelchair. One day in chorus class, we were doing voice parts. The teacher was telling what people's voice parts were. And she asked if anyone knew where middle C was. Well, I've been playing for a long time, so of course I knew, so I raised my hand. She told me to go over to the piano and do the scales. So I started running the scales, and I did the scales for everybody in the class to find out what their voice part was. Well, finally, at the end of it, she said, now it's your turn. So I ran the scales. And when I started singing, I noticed something. The girls perked up. I looked over, they was like, okay. I was done. She gave me my voice part. Before class ended, a girl walked up to me. She said, meet me on the field at recess. Okay. So recess comes, we're out on the field, everybody's playing, and this group of girls surrounded me, and they said, we heard that you could sing. It's like, okay, yeah. And they said, sing something for us. Now understand, that's kind of intimidating for a 13-year-old boy to be surrounded by girls saying, sing something for them. But at the time, and this is gonna date me a little bit, Bobby Brown had a song out called I Need a Girlfriend, and it was really popular at that time at my school. And so I started belting out, I need a girlfriend. And of course, when I started singing, the girls perked up. And of course, if there's a group of girls, there's a group of boys that come. That day, I went from being Bubba the boy in the wheelchair to Bubba the boy who could sing. And I will tell you, that gave me a confidence, that gave me an assurance, that gave me something else to be identified by other than Bubba, the boy who uses a wheelchair. Now, I want you to understand something. I never had any problem with being Bubba, the boy in the wheelchair. But there was an elevation when it came to Bubba, the boy who could sing. And that's how the arts gave me my voice.
Access Stories is a series of personal stories from Access VSA International Network members. These stories were filmed at the 2024 Leadership Exchange in Arts and Disability LEAD Conference in Seattle, Washington. Director and editor, Cindy Brown. Videographer, Jessica Wallach.